Because we need this. I'm going to tell you guys, I know we make it look easy up here, but trust us, we research very hard. Each one of us went through very terrible childhoods to be able to come up here and tell you jokes and make you laugh and everything else like that. I'll tell you about my own childhood right now. My father was from Mexico, okay? And, you know, he had not only a wicked accent, but he also had like this strange Mexican sense of humor. Like one of the things that he thought was hilarious when I was about 4 years old was to take one of my friends that came over to play with me and to pick him up and say, I put you in the oven. And he thought that was hilarious. Big, giant Hispanic man grabbing a little white boy and going, you're going in the oven right now. Couldn't understand why the kid got the shit scared out of him, all right? But another instance was like kind of the bridge in communication that we had to overcome. I'm sitting there and I'm like 5 years old. I'm working in the kitchen one summer with my mother. My dad's out in the yard doing something like, I don't know, he's weed eating. He was Mexican, you know, whatever they do out there. And I'm sitting there in the kitchen with my mother, and all of a sudden he comes flying in the door, slams his shut behind him, throws his body up against it. He's breathing heavily, darting his eyes around, looks right at us, zeroes in, no go aside. He's on our beeps. Like a telenovela, and we're sitting there, we're like, what? He's like, you don't go outside, he's on our beeps. And I looked at my mom, she looked at me, she's like, and he's like, we're like, what are beeps? And he looks at us and he's like, it's a beeps, it's a fly around, and it's a sting you. That's like, wait, you mean bees? See, beeps? The thing was, it wasn't even bees, it was wasp, okay? He just didn't know to take the P's off of bees. And it continued on years later. I'm sitting there, and I have my first father-son sex talks with my dad. I'm about 12 years old. We're sitting there, we're working on this project together. And he's in the middle of like working on something, and he looks at me and he goes, Mijo, if you make a sex with a woman, you wear that. And then went right back to what he was working on. And like I said, I'm 12 years old. I'd never even kissed a girl at that point. I look at him and I'm like, Dad, what kind of hat? And you want me to wear like a ball cap, a construction helmet, a cowboy hat, something like that? He's like, Mijo, no try to be funny. Well, eventually I figured out years later, and I've been using his advice ever since, you know? And it gets kind of awkward whenever I bring a girl home, where we're making out, we're like getting to that point and everything, and I have to stop it down and be like, baby, my dad told me something really important. Let me go over here. What do you think, a fedora? You want me to get my cowboy hat? You want me to get my bowler? Something like that? But the best advice he gave me, one time I wanted to go on a camping trip. And I went over, you know, I'd already moved out of my parents' house, but I went back and I was getting some camping gear together. My mom was like, oh, you're going camping? You should talk to your father. He has a really good suggestion for an insect repellent. And I started rubbing my hands together because I was like, oh, this is going to be another good one. So I go up to my dad and everything, and again, he's working on something. He's like changing oil on a car, something like that, whatever Mexicans do. And I go up to him and I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm going camping. What should I use for an insect repellent? And he stops. Wipes his hands off. He's like, Mijo, you know one of the mosquitoes that bit you? You take a diesel fuel, you put it in a rag, put it in your skin, it's no problem. And he sat there and took me over to like a 12-gallon drum of diesel fuel and showed me like how to take the rag and like rub it all over my body, demonstrated and everything. I was like, whoa, 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 Dad, slow down, slow down. You want me to take diesel fuel? You want me to put it in a rag, rub it all over my body? See me home. And then you want me to go camping. You want me to build a campfire. You want me to grill in front of an open flame. See me, bro. I was like, Dad, I'm going to be covered in diesel fuel. I'm going to burst into flames. He's like, Mijo, you come by the lake, you catch a fire, you jump in the water. I said, no problem. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed those traumatic experiences that I had. It's exactly like I said.